Yeah, that was electronic. Yeah, I go. No.
Mine in my vehicle along with my highlighter.
Oh, this is what it's meant. That says it's a lot, but I remember. No, I said like another one. And I referenced. Yeah. Felt so much longer.
Thank you.
Original name is like John R. or something.
John, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy called me because of the transfer of those 2 blocks.
Okay.
Cindy sent me because of conflict must begin.
Yep, compliments.
Yeah, so the transfer, so she said, you know, about Jack, but June.
Yeah, which actually I was just looking at like who was present and I'm like Susan, no, Gregory, Greg. So we should do
Yeah.
John.
Yep.
Jack. Or just call it
over, so don't worry. Don't worry about it.
a little overkill. Got it. Just I got it. Oh no, don't use that one. Oh yeah, it's. He's asking for an opinion. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I should have. Oh, that's the only reason I'm here. Face the floor. Where's our email? You know what, sometimes, yeah, well, sometimes they send it to my brother, not me. Oh. And not to the LinkedIn address, so I'll have to call it. Okay. You good now? So today's June 4th, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:03. And we can move on to the consideration of minutes from the last meeting. I do have one question, Carol. Sure. On additional notes, never did. Yeah, put it in with the battery in the room. Okay. Say that again, I'm sorry. On additional notes, the last note, because someone noted she had provided her email on the meeting sign-in, but would not be in attendance on day 4. That from a different meeting? Yeah. I don't recall that. On page 3,
yeah.
Additional notes, the last bullet. So maybe that was supposed to be June 4. But it can still have done, yeah, remember that. Well, I think it's from a, I think they use template from other meetings. That would just. You want to just cross that out? What do you guys think? I don't think it has anything to do with this. I agree. We have to take it out. Oh, just take it out. Well, and a general question, shall need to be changed on this by a minute, but can we just put our names as they are on the name plate? For example, I'm Susanna, and then Susan. If it's Gregory, Greg, then that should be John, Jack.
Cordelia.
She's been out a lot. So just one way or the other. Other than that, that was. Done everything right.
No, I didn't have it. I'll make a motion to approve the amended meeting of Wednesday, May 21st, 2025.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Gambino is not coming today. He has checked. Okay, I gave you a copy of the planning board's recommendation against the stack parking. And I originally gave you the draft, I kind of put draft all over it, but then today we have the final copy with a signature from Chairman Paul Bowden. And he revised it, and you know, anyway, so you have that. But Mr. Gambino is waiting because at the time that we had the planning board meeting, the House had passed Bill 511. And we didn't know how it was shaking out for the rest of the Senate, and then apparently it did pass the Senate. And it is now waiting for a signature from the governor. And it addresses parking spots. The towns, I guess, can only require one parking spot for every additional attached dwelling unit, ADU. However, in Lincoln and the rest of the state, an ADU only applies to one additional unit. And so in this case, it's a triplex. But he, he's still gonna come forward, but he would like to have it continue till the date that the new law is supposed to be in effect is supposed to be July 1st. So he would like to continue it until after that. I'm assuming that the governor is going to sign it. It's kind of a according to the information that we have. It says, a Republican slight partisan bill. Anyway, so it's a Republican bill. So I'm assuming she's going to sign it. So I just
So time-wise, you're gonna have to notify the butters again and all that.
no, because if we continue it to a time and date certain, we shouldn't have to do that. So let me just check and see what dates we have.
Yeah. So like the 16th or the 30th, or both the options within our window.
I'm sorry, I have tinnitus that I was recently kicked in, and so I'm not hearing well anymore. So I'm gonna come closer so I can hear that.
They instead we had till July 30th to stay within our usual window time.
So it would be, we could do let's see what date the first week in July. Because the planning board meets on the 2nd and 4th of the 6th. So
So they're on the 9th. I want to say you had suggested 16th as another option.
16. Yeah. So does that sound?
The 16th is fine.
16 at 6 o'clock.
Do we need to appoint Greg as a member tonight?
Well, you don't have to, but it's,
Yeah. So I will take care of that first.
Do you go by Gregory or Greg, or how do you want to be?
It's Gregory David, but my mom.
Oh, okay. We should do it for Mr. Reynolds.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we can discuss the date and. the dates. That it wants to be pushed.
Move the hearing on July 16th at 6 p.m.
I'll second. All in favor?
Can we have some discussion?
Sure.
So, Mike, I've looked at this and it appears that there's more than just parking at issue, right? So we're continuing this because he might win on that, but the other two things seem it's worse.
Right.
So,
yes, you'll have to make a decision on is, both things. Both on whether or not to allow him to, I mean, he's gotta prove our hardship. I'm not sure how he's gonna do that. But anyway, so we still have to entertain or consider his application for the variance. In addition, the application for the special exception for the parking. You've gotten a recommendation against it from the planning board. So even if even if the legislature passes that, it's still a triplex. It's not, it's not a single family home with 188, 80. It's a triplex, so. And he knows that, I've had discussions with him. So he still, I guess he still wants to, sure.
With the chair. But if you read that last, that highlighted in section 4, if a municipality has established regulation requiring parking for the principal dwelling area, it may require up to one additional parking space for each accessory dwelling. So it doesn't limit it to just 1 or 2. He could possibly have 3. Again, I'm just saying that, maybe he's basing his, potential case on this language here.
It could be, but, triplex is triplex.
Well,
Basically, as soon as you get, have 3 units instead of 2. Doesn't matter how it's configured it.
right, no, I'm fully aware of that, but this does not exclude or include any number. It just says for each additional unit. May.
So, but in section 1. The penalty is not required to allow more than one accessory dwelling for any single family dwelling.
Well, right, that's why he's before the ZBA requesting, based on our order.
So can it be one house with 2 ADUs? It's like,
Not according to the state, not according to our ordinance.
so according to our ordinance, but.
But then you're
So
looking
we
at
may
the
prohibit
hardship, you're looking at all the criteria, so. You just have to, go through, think it through, each one of the criteria. And then make a decision at the end. Pull the board on each criteria. And it's not the same as voting, each criteria, because you can get skewed or nonsensical results. You can find the vote at the end. After you consider that. So, have to see inches, presentation.
point, there's more than just parking here.
102.
I've driven by the place. I mean,
What if we,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
what if we don't
If you don't want
continue it? what happens, what if we decide to make a decision?
Just reapply, it means.
Starting the process all over,
You know, like, send the
re-notification.
days, send the
That doesn't make sense.
fees associated with the notice to the paper, notice to the workers.
We have a motion.
Yeah, I put a motion on.
Everybody second.
Everybody, do you want to? Oh, let's say.
Yeah.
Joanne?
I live on Franklin Street and I agree with Greg, it's just not a feasible, I mean, the accessory dwelling is fine, there's plenty. But he's saying he has 3,000 square feet of living, but it's not, he's including the garage in that 3,000, which isn't living space. You know, and I just, you put 3 in there, there's a possibility of 6 people, and that's 6 cars, and, you know, Franklin Street is one of the few in Lincoln that has still, you know, is homeowners. We have 2 Airbnbs on it. We'd like to limit it to that, you know. And I know Chris has said he doesn't want to Airbnb it, he wants to give it. I understand that, but for 3, I just don't feel that that's a bigger complex. That's, you know, people are gonna be parking on the streets, and you know, I just, I don't know, that my opinion is to be against it.
511,
Oh, your name, please.
Sean Magoon, Lions officer.
Well, you said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's obviously-
I didn't say my name either.
That's okay.
Joanne,
Well, say go ahead.
Joanne Wilson.
Thank you.
I read up earlier when 511 was starting to pass around. And I believe it was allowing up to 4 ADUs on a lot, regardless of the size, as long as it fits with the parameters. So it's gonna caution you. Read up on 511. Cause I don't know how it's changed. And,
511 didn't pass, correct?
No, 511 did pass, that's what this is.
It's 577.
or maybe it's 570, maybe I get my numbers wrong.
I do know that the
Like-
bill with the ADUs last
Yes.
year did not pass. Because they were asking for too many ADUs per lot.
Okay, that might be the one.
It didn't pass,
Okay,
and as far as I know, it has not. been
This, when I went online, this is the one that popped up.
was it
I
511?
wasn't looking at, it says 550.
Okay,
But there was one,
yeah, there was something going on with that, allowing up to 4, I think.
I think it was actually 2 when it came to vote, it was started as 4, but it didn't pass.
Okay.
And it's been changed as far as I know.
Might I suggest, Madam Chairman, that Carol, that you contact, New Hampshire Municipal Association, get clarification. And on 511, and, you know, any other bill that has to do with ADUs, or what have, it's currently either in the number there, or, you know, have been defeated or what have within the past legislative session.
Well, this one, this status report is from May 15th.
Right, you see that, yeah?
When I went online to see the most recent status.
No, I'm saying this is the most recent.
So this is just regarding parking, what he's saying, is the state is considering
Other than-
adding the amount of ADUs people can put on their home. Detached and
Right,
detached.
and that has to do with the lack of workforce housing,
Correct.
et cetera, and affordable housing. This is one of the answers they're looking at. So I'm not sure where that's landed now.
The original one was voted against, but they planned on bringing it back with less ADUs per plan. Right, it was gonna be one attached and one detached or something.
So, yeah, the modifications to it, Susan. I don't know.
So. Well,
Any other comments from the public? Madam Chair, I'll move to close the public session.
I'll second. Did we actually vote on?
Yeah,
Developers. So let's do that work. We'll close the public.
Yeah.
Now we'll vote on the motion. All in favor?
I second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sean.
I think I have that number, the bill number, the AV bill number. Oh, okay. And I printed it out when I went to my thing, so I'll email you that. Okay.
Was that latest section? or-
Yeah. Last June. Pretty sure.
So if somebody had a,
They might, they have it, they may have rewritten it. So we hold on to our paperwork.
And add it to the other.
Sorry, I didn't recognize.
No, that's okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, you stopped by my other office, Remax at some point, talk to Kevin. To just go over the parking space counting over there at the Depot Plaza. That's sort of the property manager, so to speak.
Yep.
Yep, Kevin Mack.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, I talked to Mike, Conklin, and he was saying he was gonna talk to Kevin. And I explained to him what you said about the pin, the Google pin being in the back there.
Okay.
So Mike was struggling with, he said he lost his internet service for months or something. Because I was screw up with Google with a pin. It took him, he couldn't get anybody on the phone to help him. So he was gonna see if he can find somebody who's better at it. And then I also talked to, the law trust, and I told him, Mr. Alford, Rick Alford, and I explained to him what you said about the pin. And he said, well, I can't fix that, because I don't own the Google.
Right.
So that's why I called him. So anyway, so if they ask you about it, I can only tell.
That's fine, no, I'm totally, sorry, I have to explain why people keep coming around the back.
Right.
But anyhow, yeah, so I was talking to Kevin, just, they're like short, what, 50 living spots or whatever.
Yeah,